Okay, this is the intro for the podcast.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Silver Screen Fiends podcast. I'm your host Sam,
I'm Blake.
and we got a special little guest. A special little guest. He's a fan favorite of the pod.
Yeah.
For those listening, it's the Dewmeister. Little Dewey's ripping apart a fucking toy right now.
Going absolutely bananas.
I kind of wish it was my soul. But yeah, it's been a while. I was telling Blake off camera that some wacky stuff's been going on, so I won't divulge details. But now, basically, long story short, is now we'll be able to allocate more time. So we're just gonna hop into it with a pretty casual format for today, because since we have been gone, there's been like a fucking large sum of movie news, and I kind of just wanted to, go through some headlines and comment on bullshit. So it's gonna be a more laid back episode, and we're also gonna roll in like the what have we watched recently into that, because there's just been a lot out. So I was thinking we could just do the normal thing and talk about the movies first, the movies on the movie cast. So yeah, Blake, so Blake, what have you watched in the last 2 months?
I was gonna say, when was the last time we recorded, because I don't remember what I haven't talked about.
Yeah, I know, I kind of had that thought too. It's been a minute.
We talked about Dungeons and Dragons, so I know it was later than that.
We did, yeah. I think
we didn't talk about Evil Dead, right?
No, we didn't. No.
All right, I'll start there then.
Okay.
Because the new Evil Dead was a movie that I really liked, so I wanted to talk about it. Did you see it?
I have not seen it yet, because I initially had plans to go to the theater, and then they all got fucked up, and then I just never ended up seeing it. So
it's on streaming now, so you can watch it at home.
Right? Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, so I won't get spoilery with it or anything, but I did enjoy it quite a lot. If you like the 2013 Evil Dead, then you will love this movie, because it's basically like not a direct sequel in that like the characters are the same, but it's a spiritual sequel to that movie, like continuing in that vein, which I liked a lot. The one thing that I like noted in my review that I felt about it, which it's contradictory, because I do love the new Scream movies. However, I was very happy that Evil Dead Rise did not go that route and like just bring back a bunch of actors from the series and like just do kind of like a fan service thing. I like that they've kind of like stuck to their guns with the 2013 one and been like, no, like we're doing a whole new thing. It's going to be its own story, like, and it doesn't rely on like, you can see no Evil Dead movies and just watch this one and you'll be fine. You don't need any previous knowledge. Which like I said, I love the new Scream movies, but I'm glad that Evil Dead went in a different direction, so I applaud for that.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask, like, how was it as far as the plot and the continuity of the series, because I purposely have been avoiding trying to look into it because of that.
Yeah, there's no connection. You don't have to know anything. It's totally like its own standalone thing. Mm-hmm. Obviously, if you've seen an Evil Dead movie, you'll kind of get like, oh, the Necronomicon, whatever. But like,
sure,
you don't need to see any other movies to enjoy this one, which is good in this day and age. That is a rare thing. So
that is rare. Yeah.
Believe it or not, you can watch just this movie to enjoy just this movie.
Okay, let's go. Movies rise up.
Movies are back, baby.
We're back. Well, they will be back when Barbie hits the theaters. It's Stewie's join. It's Stewie. Stanley's joined us too.
Oh yeah, he's coming in now.
Yeah.
I also watched Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. That was good.
I did too. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I will say, like, I don't know what these days I go into. Well, I mean for a long time, but especially these days with all the burnout and shit with Marvel. Like, I go into these movies, with low expectations. I'm like, at the very least, I'll sit back, I'll have my popcorn, it'll get stuck in the back of the throat, I'll have to do that awkward thing where I go throughout the whole theater, but then I'll enjoy the experience after that. So, and that's exactly what I got, is like, it was fun. Damn, it got dark at times. Like Rocket's storyline, like, holy fuck.
Yeah, I did not go into it prepared for that experience with a Marvel movie.
No,
you know,
I know like they had teased that they were gonna get into Rocket's backstory, but I didn't know like to what extent, and you know,
or how dark it was gonna be.
Yeah, I mean, just to jump way ahead in when they're doing the flashback, and like all his friends get fucking shot in the lab. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's brutal.
It's like,
brutal,
bro.
Great movie, and I am sad that this is probably the end of the Guardians of the Galaxy as a team. You know.
Yeah, I mean, the unfortunate reality is it will be the end of that until James Gunn fucks up at DC, comes back to Marvel, and then 10 years later does a reunion.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Guardians 3 had a lot to offer as like that farewell for now. And yeah, I mean, everyone was on point. Like Bautista, obviously, always amazing. The first F-bomb in a Marvel movie, and it was the funniest scene in the whole movie.
Yes, it was, and very unexpected, which I thought was great.
Yeah, when Chris Pratt shouts out, "Open the fucking door!" Like I was like, my jaw hit the ground. I
wonder if James Gunn had to like fight for that, to be like, no, if this is my last Guardians movie, I'm saying fucking this movie.
He 100% had to fight for it, because like
I think so.
because the amount of foot traffic that was gonna go see that movie, and all the age ranges that fit into that, like he definitely he was hounding them, and they're like, well, it's fucking James Gunn, we got it, it's the last Guardians movie.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it was fantastic.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it overall. I thought it had a nice balance of pretty much like every emotion, and it felt like cohesive. And now I was happy to be like, okay, that's gonna be the end of that, at least for now.
For now,
yeah, because they're teasing that like Star-Lord thing. Like I don't even know what they're gonna do with that.
I was gonna say, the post-credit scene for this one just said like Star-Lord will return, instead of like the Guardians of the Galaxy will return. So
right,
I don't know if that means a Star-Lord solo movie, or he's just going to be in something else. I don't know. I don't know how good a Star-Lord solo movie would really be, honestly, especially without James Gunn, but who knows?
Yeah, I mean, because Guardians is very much one of those things where it's the dynamic of everybody in the cast coming together.
Yeah, it's probably the only Marvel movies that really feel like distinct to their director, except maybe like the Taika Waititi Thor movies, but I'd say Guardians more so is like it's almost like an auteur within the Marvel universe, which it sounds like an oxymoron, but it's true.
Yeah, no, I get that. But man, after Thor 4, I was like, Taika could take a break.
Yeah,
you can chill now. No more screaming goats the entire fucking movie. Like,
please
don't do that. Yeah, no, I was happy with Guardians, and you were too. And now we can make amends with film. Yeah, I guess I'll go in with 2. I guess we could just keep bouncing back and forth like every couple movies. So I got to see. It came to the States for 2 days. I got to see Shin Kamen Rider. Are you familiar with the Kamen Rider series? Yeah. Which is great because I mean, I've been quite a fan of the Shin films created by Hideki Anno, and I would say Godzilla. Like, I still like Shin Godzilla, but to me it didn't feel as much of a Godzilla film. But like Ultraman was sick. A lot of it was very derivative of the source material, including like the actual sounds they used from the original series and stuff like that. And Kamen Rider, holy shit, this was very much like a what the fuck movie. Anno, I swear to God, Anno must have played like, No More Heroes. Yeah, he must have just taken a master class on Suda 51 and been like, I want to structure my movie like this, because like the first half is very much like that. It's him like going through each member of the organization, and a lot of it's like very overly stylized, just like buckets of fucking corn syrup that fly out of people, and all of the villains are super wacky, and it was just such a good fucking time. I love all these series, like all these Japanese, like either tokusatsu or Sentai series. Like they're always so much fun, and Anno's great because he always does it from the heart. Like he always like digs into the source material. So when you watch his movies, it's like he's doing a retelling of like pretty much nearly beat for beat the first like 10 episodes of the original series, and it's like that's cool. Like I appreciate that. Plus our theater was like super small, and everyone was just like, and I love that. Like when you're in a theater, where
those
like,
kind of screenings are fun.
Yeah, because you know it's only gonna be like 20 people max at a showing like that, and everyone's just gonna fuck with each other. So yeah. It was a lot of fun. I don't know like when that would get a physical release, if it does, but hopefully it does, because I would pick that up.
Well, now it's like, who fucking knows? Like I just saw the other day on Twitter that Barbarian has no physical release.
No.
And like unplanned. It's like, that sucks.
Yeah, right? Like, I don't understand. Like, why just does it really cost that much? Just fucking just do like the crappy ass standard edition.
Yeah, I just want to be able to watch it when HBO decides to just delete it for some reason.
Because we know they do be doing that.
Dude,
no, Blake. Literally. Blake, you can't say HBO anymore. It's Max.
Sorry, Max.
It's Max. It is
now you can't watch the Jordan Peele Twilight Zone anymore. It's gone.
Yeah, that was scrubbed.
I think it might have gotten a physical release at some point though, but on streaming you cannot watch that show anymore.
It just that whole thing, just the whole, and we've talked about this a bunch. Yeah. But like,
unfortunately, we're gonna keep talking about it because it's not gonna stop.
No, of course. I mean, it's just one of those things where you sit back, and at first it's like you like to watch the dumpster fire, but then you're like, well, I kind of wanted to remain on this train, and now it's wrecking and it's colliding with a train. Now you're like, well, how am I supposed to ever support anything anymore? Now I have fucking trust issues.
Yeah, it's true. Like I literally, through all of like college, I would pirate everything because I had no money, so I couldn't afford anything.
Sure.
And then after I graduated college, I started paying for all the streaming services so that I could watch stuff. And it's like, now stuff's disappearing off of there. I'm going to have to go back to fucking pirating stuff just to be able to watch it. I'm trying to pay for it, and they will not let me. They do not want my money.
No, it is ridiculous. Like, I really have to question how much money they even save when they remove something from their own platform, especially if they own the rights to it. Like the whole when they got rid of half of there was only half of the Looney Tunes library on fucking Max. I fucking hate that. And then they cut that in half again. It's like, you guys, it's your flagship fucking series. What are you doing? That's like if Nintendo was like, you know what? I think Mario's a little overrated, and we're gonna save some money, so maybe we just stop making Mario games. It's like, what? Like, and how much money are you really saving by doing that?
I know.
You can't be saving millions. There's no way you're saving millions.
I know part of it is like tax related, and then it's like royalties and stuff, but it's like, these are probably things that you should have figured out when you created a streaming service, because if you wanted to not pay royalties anymore, then streaming doesn't really work. You know, that's what I don't get. Like, how does streaming move forward? You know, if now we're removing stuff because we don't want to pay royalties, it's like, is stuff going to exist on streaming for a limited time and then just disappear forever? Because that's insane. I don't want to pay for that.
Yeah, and speaking of that, that's kind of a nice segue into something else I wanted to talk about, which has been the ongoing writer's strike, which has been going on since May 2nd. And this is the first time since, I think, 2009 that there was a writer's strike? Yeah. So it just, and I think the streaming kind of goes into it, because when streaming first really hit the scene in a huge way, like when Netflix was like, okay, we're the king now, bro, it was like a wild, wild west of legality. And so people didn't really know how things, like you mentioned, like royalties worked, or how you pay the actor. Like, are they still getting the back end deal and then based on per viewer? Or like, So yeah, it was crazy because there was like no law of the land, and I think now that studios are trying to backpedal on deals and shit and be like, well, we're losing on these streams, like streaming's not as lucrative as we thought. It's like, yeah, but bro, go fuck yourself, because like you pay your actors and your screenwriters and your producers. Like that's not it's not their fault, it's your fault. You have to figure it out.
Yeah. Exactly. I don't understand. So it's like, what is my, like, what are our subscriptions going towards? You know, like maybe don't make another $7 bajillion Ryan Reynolds movie that no one watches, and just pay royalties on the shit that you already have that I want to watch.
That's too foreign of a concept. I don't know if we could do that.
Yeah.
I actually don't even know like what the update on the strike is. Like, I did hear that they were going to them with some form of negotiation recently, but I don't think they got back to them on that.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything. It seems like it's at kind of like a standstill right now.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's a fucking shame for all those people. I mean, writers are the fucking backbone of it all. Like, without writers, you don't have anything. So it's like,
yeah.
Just why are you cutting the fucking jugular to what, spite the rest of your body? Like it doesn't.
Yeah.
Bro, I bet they're not even asking. Just give them what they want. Like fucking stop.
It's just greed. At the end of the day, like the problem across the board is just greed. It's the reason why stuff gets taken off streaming. It's the reason why they're not like treating the writers the way they should. It's all just greed.
Yeah,
and it sucks.
And as time goes on, and like historically speaking, it just gets worse and worse and worse. Like as technologies advance, as stars rise, as streaming services collapse and monopolize, it's going to be worse and worse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, did you see the whole AI generated thing with the new Marvel show?
Yes, that was in my notes. Yeah, the opening for Secret.
Yeah, I figured it segued good right into that, because that's part of it too.
That was for Secret Invasion, right? So
basically, like the opening credit sequence of Secret Invasion is AI generated. It's like AI generated art, and when you look at it, you can tell because it's ugly as fuck and looks stupid. But people have been talking about it a lot on Twitter today, and like, I mean, not necessarily debating, but like, you know, discussing the AI thing, because this is like the first time that AI generated anything has been used in like a project like this,
and Marvel nonetheless. Like the people that you figure would sustain like their artistic integrity,
and the ones who have literally unlimited money to pay visual effects artists to create an opening credit sequence for them.
Right, like it just, I don't know. And I saw people on Twitter defending it like, oh well, maybe it like worked into their vision of like what the show means. I'm like, they just wanted to save money.
Yeah,
like give me, come on.
So stupid.
Yeah, and it's so ugly.
Yeah, it looks terrible. It looks awful. The AI generated stuff all looks the same. It's all those swirly looking faces, and it just like it's so like disappointing to see it be Marvel be the first one to do it.
Yeah, of course.
You know it's going to happen more and more. This is just the first one. It is not the last one.
This is the first dip in the vast ocean of AI. Yeah. It's gonna get real fucking bad. And
but at the end of the day, like the thing about the AI stuff is like there's no like faking good art, I guess. And
of course,
obviously on this podcast we consider movies art, and no matter how advanced an AI is, that does not mean it can create something that people are gonna like. And like in this case, it's like, yeah, the AI can create these images and whatever, but it looks like shit. And people know that it's AI generated, and because of that, it has no like artistic value, really. You know,
right?
Like,
not at all. No.
So as it gets worse, unfortunately, what's going to happen is not that we're going to start enjoying things that are AI generated. It's stuff is going to start being AI generated, and it's just all going to start sucking. You know, like people are talking about like Chat GPT or whatever writing scripts and stuff, and it's like it can do that. That doesn't mean that they're good, but unfortunately, you're going to be subject to shitty stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the whole point of AI is like, if it's gonna exist, it have it just simply be an aid or a tool, or like a frame of reference for you to execute your concept, not for you to literally build upon and make it worse. But actually, the funniest shit ever is recently I read that AI is now actually regressing because it's so overloaded with information that it's starting to pump out like really horrific bad results. And it's like,
and I saw also that now like there's so much AI art out there that the AIs are starting to be fed by AI art, and it's just like
it's gonna
hilarious.
Yeah, it's gonna be so fucking bad to see. Honestly, in a fucked up way, I'm looking forward to the next like 5 or 10 years just to see how shitty this gets for the world.
Well, that's like best case scenario, I guess, because truthfully, like we said, they're going to keep using it. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. So the best we can hope for is just that it gets so laughably bad that in 20 years we look back on it as like a really stupid like period and not like a standard.
Yeah. Definitely hope that. Fucking AI, man. Speaking of crazy shit, Tarantino's next film, the one that everyone's been awaiting details on, was basically just revealed as what if Travis Bickle was a crazy fucking movie critic, and now a whole new personality has just dropped for all the incels out there. I actually think though that this being his, I mean, he says his final film, it probably is true, but for it to be his actual final film, if it is true, he did pick a pretty interesting premise. Now, obviously, it's very self-indulgent.
All Tarantino's movies.
Yeah, of course, but I think that it would work in its favor given the material he's working with. I think that no matter how much feet you may see, no matter how many like self-serving jokes you may see, I think that like if done right, this could be really fucking cool. I just don't know like what approach he's really gonna take with it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting because like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was one of his first. I mean, I guess his first movies that was just like directly about movies, if that makes sense. Like it's about the film industry, and that's probably my favorite movie of his. So for him to do another one that's like, I guess in a similar vein, I'm excited for. I mean, as of right now, there's no reason not to believe that it's his final movie because he's never really like said that before. So, I mean, I hope it's not, but I can respect a director retiring, instead of like continuing to direct movies that like get less and less good. Whereas like Tarantino's kind of on top right now still, so it's like I'm okay with a solid 10 movies and that's it. I mean, just because it's his final movie doesn't mean he's not gonna write another book or something or do TV shows. I don't know, but
I mean, he's gone on record saying like he wants to like keep writing and maybe even producing. So yeah, I mean, he definitely, I agree, like kill it in your prime, man. Like you're good, like you did good, and just fucking be done with it and like move on to something else that makes you happy.
I'm very interested to see what he will do after it comes out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of roads he could go down, and I'm curious about it. It'd be kind of cool. I could see him like writing a graphic novel or something.
Yes, I think. I could see him doing that, and then maybe setting it in like some Hong Kong dystopia, and he had like
Yeah,
that would be
I think that would
sick.
be cool.
Yeah.
Because then he's got no limits on budgets or special effects or anything. So that I could definitely see that happening. I would like that.
And then they adapt the novel into a film, and then guess who directs
J.J.
the
Abrams directs it.
and then J.J. Abrams directs the film. Yeah, exactly. Speaking of not knowing what a director's going to do after their next project, I loved reading that Scorsese was planning to do a movie about Jesus. Did you see this?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
He's done one before.
Yeah, well, that's true, but like, I wonder how crazy he's gonna get with it. Is it gonna be like some Passion of the Christ shit, or is it gonna be like, I don't know what he would do with that.
It's a weird time in history to direct a movie about Jesus. I feel like culturally in the United States right now. So like, that could mean so many things that I don't know what that means. You know?
Yeah. I mean, does it mean like it's literally Jesus Christ, or do we just get De Niro to star as a man who plays a Jesus like impersonator? Like, who fucking knows?
Yeah, who knows what that actually means? It's interesting. I'm excited for his what is it? Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good. The trailer came out not too long ago.
Yeah, which unfortunately marked the end of the only still image being the news we had of Leo just like at the dinner table. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that, and I think it clocks in at I think his longest movie or second longest. Yeah, I forget the exact runtime, but it's definitely long. I mean, it's Scorsese, right? They're always long.
You know what I was thinking about the other day? Whatever happened to his Devil in the White City adaptation? Because before this was ever announced, that was like the project everybody was talking about, and it just like disappeared.
I think it just got indefinitely put on hiatus. Because I think I remember reading something about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do remember that was a big deal, and it just like then you just didn't hear about it.
Yeah, then it was on to this project. I mean, this movie looks good. I just was curious if you knew like what the hell happened with that.
No, I like I said, I'm pretty sure it went on indefinite hiatus. I think. Yeah. You know what though? I kind of want to look this up.
Because it was also supposed to be DiCaprio, and I think Killers of the Flower Moon is also like a historical story, so it might have just been like that one happened to not work out, so they did this one instead. Who knows?
Yeah, I wonder.
It might just be one of those big like what if movies go in the future, you know?
Yeah, I wonder like where. Yeah, I don't see news on it. Yeah, I don't know. Fucking Scorsese, if you're out there, like you can do whatever you want, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think he's going to direct the solo Star-Lord movie, is what I heard.
Yes, and he's just going to sit in a chair for 3 hours and go, "This is cinema," while he eats his mother's pasta sauce. Yeah. So I guess on the topic of directors, I also read briefly today, actually, that M. Night Shyamalan's next movie is going to be titled Trap, and it is described as a psychological thriller set at a concert, and that already gives me anxiety. So that's great. I mean, I feel like there's so much yet so little you could almost do with a premise like that. I would have to assume some cult-like shit is happening. Drugs are taken. Panic ensues. People get fucking murdered. You know, the staples of Shyamalan. Right.
It'll be interesting. I'm so happy that he's like back directing movies. That's something I'm glad we got to see. Because it was a long time that we didn't get anything from him. And now he's back and it's exciting.
Yeah, because I mean, I really enjoyed Knock at the Cabin, and I think that he does have potential to like keep that momentum. So we'll see what happens.
I've liked a lot of his recent movies. I didn't see I don't even remember what it was called. The one that was it Glass? The one that was the Unbreakable sequel. I didn't see that, but the other movies he's made have been pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So M Night, more like W Night. He's winning. He stay winning, bro. Yeah, but you know what, Shyamalan, do your Shyamalan ding dong thing. Keep it fucking trucking along, dude. Keep it fucking going. So how do you feel about Elemental? Because
I didn't realize that it even came out. So
right, it is definitely quickly become the case study of when company just totally falls from grace and they won't even pump money into their marketing because they know that it's probably not going to succeed.
Yeah.
So
I mean, even like I had seen the trailer. I just didn't realize it came out. But like, the trailer looked awful. It didn't look good. It looked like a knockoff of Zootopia with like a little bit of like Inside Out. Like it just looked so derivative of other animated movies that are not even that old that I just was like, this looks terrible. I have no interest in seeing that.
Yeah, it just, and I mean, I have always loved Pixar, but it's just like you get to a point where how many times can they pull off a similar concept with just like a new character or sentient being or animal or, it's just like, I think maybe like just pause it and go to the fucking storyboard and like sit on it. I mean, they obviously can keep making money by shelling out more fucking Toy Story movies. Like they just let them do that for now, and then fucking, not that I want them to do that, but just like get your money and then like think of an original idea.
Yeah, and it's a shame because I like a lot of more recent Pixar movies. Like I loved Onward. I love Luca was great, and it's like it's weird that it's like I wouldn't even say Pixar like fell off. They're just become like wildly inconsistent.
Yeah, that's definitely a better way to describe it. And I have
not seen Elemental, so I don't actually know if it's good or not. It's just it seems to the context clues are telling me it's probably not very good. But
yeah. I mean, I do plan on seeing it, and I want to give it a chance. So we'll report back. Elemental episode. That's gonna be our longest episode yet.
Yeah, we're gonna be like a 5 hour.
Yeah, we'll get Scorsese on the podcast.
Yeah.
So
it's funny that Pixar's no longer like at the forefront of animation like at all.
Yeah, no.
Now I would say like the Spider-Verse movies are really the big animated movies that everyone's talking about, and it used to always be Pixar. And it's totally, I mean, they're all, well, I guess Spider-Verse is Sony, I think. Those aren't Disney,
it's
right?
Sony, yeah.
Yeah. So never mind, they're not all Disney. But yeah, those used to be like the groundbreaking animated movies were all the Pixar movies. And now it's like nobody even goes to see them anymore.
Yeah. No, for real. And then like look at Illumination, who's been absolutely killing it these past 2 years. Like, their output's been crazy, and that fucking, and we actually didn't even talk about this, I don't think, but the Mario movie was.
Because I didn't see it.
Oh,
I gotta see it.
Oh, you still haven't seen? Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, it's, and what I loved about that movie is like, if not only did it have like charm and cool deep cut references, and the voice cast actually was pretty competent in it, but it opens up the door to like take other Nintendo IPs and make movies with them. And
I've seen rumors about a Legend of Zelda something.
Yeah, which it was supposed to be done, I think, by Illumination or DreamWorks or whatever. And I think the CEO came out and was like, "Why do you think that?" And it seemed very like, "Don't look in my direction."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, it's cool because it does open up the door to those opportunities.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
it's also like the thing with Pixar. Obviously, it's nice to see like original stories and everything, but unfortunately, IP is just like the name of the game nowadays, and those are just the movies. Those movies are gonna get all of the budget and attention because of the IP, and it's like for Pixar, like you have to compete with that, and to put out something that doesn't even really look that good from the trailer, it's just bound to fail when you're fighting against, Mario or Spider-Man. Like, you're not going to win that battle.
No.
So,
No, not at all.
it's like it was kind of doomed from the start.
Did you see the new Spider-Man?
No, not yet. I'm planning to go this week, though. I'm
Yeah.
kind of behind in theater movies lately because I've just been so busy since I started my new job. But I'm the week of July 4th, I plan on going like a couple of times that week and just catching up on everything.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I think it felt even more stylized this time, and the animation was even more impressive, which I didn't even really think was going to be that possible given the gap of time between that and the first movie. But it was fucking great, and then of course, like, the way it ends a little abrupt because it's part 2, so it's like it's gonna lead to whatever. But oh man, I saw a shit post on Twitter that was like, an account kept posting like fake delays, and someone was like, last Spider-Man movie is going to come out like 2027. I was just like, Jesus Christ. Can you imagine they like canceled that final movie? Like it just didn't.
Well, did you see the Avatar delays where like they're like the last Avatar movie is going to come out in like 2031 or something?
Yeah, which like I'm not even shocked, and
No.
that's even if they keep that delayed deadline.
Yeah, and if they even finish making all of the movies by then,
Right, because God knows how long. Well, I know, apparently, didn't Cameron say, like, he had worked on a bunch of 3 already, like, while they were doing 2?
It seems like their goal is to pump out the next couple of ones a lot faster than they did the second one, so we'll see. But, like, with the technologies that they use in those movies, like, I don't know, they're going to take a while no matter what, so...
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Luckily, Way of Water made a fucking ton of money, so
yeah, man.
they're good on that.
Oh yeah, they're good. Yeah, there was a couple other movies I saw kind of recently. I did watch that new Little Mermaid movie.
How was it? I heard it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, no. As far as the live action Disney adaptations, it was one of the better ones.
That's what I heard, and I kind of want to see it because of that. I knew I was never going to see that in theaters no matter what, but like now when it does come on Disney Plus, I'm going to make sure to watch it because I heard it wasn't bad.
Yeah, I mean, Halle Bailey did a great job. Her voice was amazing. Obviously, like a little part of me prefers the original performances, obviously, but like she did what she came to do very successfully. I was obviously skeptical at first of Melissa McCarthy as Ursula, but even she did a good job. And Javier Bardem as fucking King Triton was funny. At first I was like, wait, who is that again? And then I realized it's Bardem, and it's just so funny seeing him like that.
That is so funny.
And everyone did a good job. I just didn't really like the designs of like, Flounder and Sebastian. That was kind of... Yeah. But whatever. I knew going into it I wasn't going to care for them. But yeah, I thought Awkwafina as Scuttle was a good choice too. At first you look at the cast and you're like, huh? But it works. And all the songs, I mean, because Little Mermaid arguably has one of the best Disney soundtracks in history.
A couple of the best songs,
yeah. So like those... it's like as long as you get some talented singers, like it's kind of hard to really fuck up the performances. So they killed it. Like it was good. Like Undersea was fun. Like everything was pretty fun. I wouldn't say I would rewatch it very soon, but like it was pretty good. Yeah.
You know what it is? It's there's a certain genre of movie that I like, which is just movies that you can put on when you go to like visit your parents and they just want to watch something. That will be one that I probably watch in that way.
Yeah, no, that's like fair.
Not offensive, non controversial movie to just put on. That's what I do with all the Netflix Ryan Reynolds movies. It's like, oh, this is like the perfect, like I'll just put this on when I go to my parents' house. We'll all sit and watch it. Nobody will be confused. Nobody will be like, I don't understand what's happening. So that's the kind
Yeah.
of movie.
Yeah, no. Now you would file Norbit under that list, right?
Yeah, and Beau is Afraid. That'll be another one I watch with my parents.
I really want to see that. I still haven't seen that, and now it's on.
I-
now it's on digital. So.
Yeah, I've watched about half of it, and I got to finish watching it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I liked what I saw so far, but I had to stop to do something. But because it's a fucking long ass movie.
Yeah. I mean, it's yeah. It's. Please give us short movies. Please.
Yeah, but if it's Ari Aster, so I'll forgive.
Yeah, no,
I think-
Aster and Joaquin, like that duo is worth sitting like 6 hours for. Like
Yeah.
I would do it. But
Yeah. You know what? It reminded me because you had said Aquafina. I don't remember if we talked about Renfield. Did we? I think that might have saw that. Out.
no, we didn't, because I think we had stopped recording shortly before that released, which
Yeah.
I still have to watch Renfield.
Okay.
I am not.
It was good. It was a fun little comedy. Like if you watch the trailer, you know exactly what to expect, and like
Right.
it was good for that.
Without divulging too much detail, am I to expect that the amount of time I saw Cage in the trailer is probably the amount of time on screen he actually had?
No, he actually has a lot of screen time.
Oh, he
and
actually
he's-
is like, okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure because the
And
way they set the trailer, it almost made it seem like they weren't gonna focus on him too much. So I wasn't sure.
Yeah,
much screen
and
time,
he absolutely hams it up in the best way that Nick Cage can. So it was
Sure.
fun. I thought it was a fun movie. Again, it's another one that like you could put on with anybody, and it's pretty like non-controversial. Like it's just a fun movie. It's violent as hell, like super super bloody, which I thought was great.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like a fun time, and I wanted to mention it because I did enjoy it.
I want to quickly mention as well that on the topic of Nicolas Cage, him appearing in Dead by Daylight is hysterical,
Yeah,
and I absolutely I can't wait.
I haven't played Dead by Daylight in a long time, but I might have to dive
Yeah.
back into it.
Oh yeah, for sure. As soon as he drops, I'm back on the game. Like,
I love that. I heard he like fully voiced the character too. Like he does all the like grunts and everything, which
Yep.
is so fun.
Yeah, and I really just man, this has been like this last like less than decade of Cage. His renaissance has just been like so fun to watch.
Yeah.
It's like he's just like totally embraced the caricaturized version of himself, and he's
Yeah.
been doing good work. And I mean, he's always been a phenomenal actor. I'm just glad that like people are really seeing it now.
Well, that's what I like. Yeah, that's what I liked about Renfield. Like you could tell that Nick Cage and the whole rest of the cast was just like having a good time making it,
yeah.
and it's just like everybody had fun making it. It was a good movie, and like that's it. Like nothing too deep, nothing too crazy, but it's just like a good time.
Yeah. The good time. That's what movies should be. A good freaking time.
I keep the good times rolling, baby.
Yeah. You know, what wasn't a great time, unfortunately, was that new Broken Lizard movie, Quasi.
I did not
I
see
don't.
it.
Yeah, I love Broken Lizard. Like I remember when my dad and I had an apartment back in like, you know, probably back in when I was in high school, so like 2007, 2008. God, just end me now. There was a period of time where we were like very into Broken Lizard, so we would watch like Super Troopers and Beer Fest and Club Dread, and I've always loved the guys. And then I heard that they were doing like their own version of the Hunchback of Notre Dame story, and I was like, damn, that's gonna be fun. And then unfortunately it just like they kind of dropped the ball, and I don't think it's their fault necessarily, because the writing was fine, like for them, like they are funny, but it's just that like what it seems like to me is it seemed like a fun little passion project that got greenlit by the studio that they clearly weren't given a big budget for. And so they decided to take the Monty Python approach and model like a lot of the self-deprecating humor off of it, based on like, oh, look at the props of the environment. And then each of them played 2 or 3 characters. So it kind of like, it makes it seem like it's less of a production than it really is. And not to say the movie was dog shit, but I was like so excited that a new Broken Lizard movie was coming, and then it's just like, okay, now it's just dead in the water, and but I would say that it was still fun to check it out. I think everyone still did a fine job, but it's just like, oh, just give me more. I mean, I hear they're working on like another Super Troopers and other shit, so we'll see what they got in store.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what else I've been watching. I think we've talked about pretty much all of them. Oh, I did watch that the Air movie.
Oh yeah, I still didn't see that. I haven't watched it.
Yeah, it was fine. It was it's one of those things where it's nice to see Damon and Affleck on screen together and whatever, and it was especially nice to see Chris Tucker crawl out of his incredibly massive debt cave to make an appearance in this movie.
His indentured servitude.
Yeah, like I hope he's paid the IRS by now, and I hope that they gave him some money for this movie. But I think that it was fine because like it is like meant to be a biopic, but it doesn't really feel that way. And the way they handle Michael Jordan, like they don't actually show his face in it. They just get an actor to like just play a young Michael Jordan, but like he doesn't.
They did the Seinfeld Steinbrenner thing.
Where they pulled a fake Shemp. Yeah, That's fake Shemp. So actually, I don't know. I was just. I feel like once a month I bring up fake Shemp, and just a few weeks ago I was talking with friends about this. For those that don't know what that is, so way back in the day when the Three Stooges were really big, back in like 2002. No, when they were all still alive. Shemp Howard, one of the brothers, he had a contract with Columbia to finish a certain amount of films. But that was also like accompanied by his return to the Three Stooges. Shemp ended up dying, and he wasn't able to fulfill the rest of the contract. So, and this is so fucking ludicrous to me. So, in order to fulfill his contract, they just got like some guy to wear a suit, wear like the like the mop top haircut, and look like Shemp from the back, but never show his face. And then it became such an inside joke in Hollywood that shows like Seinfeld, like what you mentioned, Steinbrenner, they started doing fake Shemp, where they would just put someone else's voice. In that case, it was Larry David's voice on a random actor, and they would just like pass it off, and it was funny. But I find it so damn interesting that studios, even back then, were so incredibly fucking greedy and convoluted with their contracts that they were like, okay, well, he still technically owes us movies, so we have to get him on screen somehow, even though it doesn't make any sense. So I think that's like one of my favorite bits of Hollywood trivia.
Well, we still do it today. It's just CGI versions of dead people.
Right. Which speaking of, the other day I was just thinking like, I not that I'm excited about this, but I was wondering like what the status was on that James Dean war movie. The one they're gonna like bring him back for. I'm like, what the fuck are they gonna do with this?
I don't know. The whole bringing people back from the dead thing is very bizarre to me, and I don't know how I feel about it. They don't do it too much, but when they do, it's like weird.
It is weird, and really, in a way, it's like damning to the legacy of the actor.
Yeah.
I mean, like, unless they wrote it in their will, like, yeah, you can like use imagery of me and like bring me back, but otherwise it just feels wrong to do
the two that stand out to me are the Peter Cushing in Rogue One and in the new Ghostbusters, the Harold Ramis one.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. I hadn't watched it, but I heard about that.
Yeah, those two are the oones that I think. I can't think of other ones. I'm sure there's other ones, but those two are the ones that I think of right away, and they're just like weird.
Yeah, just
because it's like in theory, like especially with Star Wars, it's like, well, technically, it's just like the character that they're bringing back, but like using his, I don't know, it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah, well, what's even funnier is when they like try to fucking Photoshop like faces onto actors that like
Oh,
maybe
that-
left. So I saw that Grease show, which I totally forgot was even a thing.
Yeah,
Recently, like one of the actors either left or got fired, and then like he was still in an episode or two, and so they had to like Photoshop his face. I saw the clip. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this looks bad.
Yeah, I gotta look that up. I didn't see that.
It looks worse than what they did with Liv in The Sopranos.
Oh my god, and that's pretty bad.
Yeah, well, because at least in The Sopranos, like they kind of like spliced real footage of her, and this is just like they photoshopped his expression. I'm like, bro, this looks this looks horrible. Like, but anyway, yeah, I'm trying to think of what other movie news. I guess we could get to the main bit, which I'm pumped about. Friggin' Barbie. Friggin' let's go Barbie.
Yeah.
Dude, that movie looks insane.
Yeah, that's gonna be a very fun. I hope a very fun movie, especially since it's competing with Oppenheimer, which looks like it's gonna be the bleakest movie ever.
Bro, I am so now you know how I feel about Nolan. But he continuously gives me reasons to dislike him. And recently he went on record saying, "Oh, well, people we've screened Oppenheimer to, they've walked out devastated and they weren't able to speak." And I'm like, come the fuck on. Like, it's a movie about a bomb. Like, give me a fucking break. Like, his head is so far up his ass. It is so ridiculous. True. Like, I don't know. Like, a little tiny part of me wants to see it just out of morbid curiosity, kind of like The Flash, because, you know, with everything surrounding that film.
Yeah.
But I just don't really have much interest in seeing this. But I do think it's hysterical that it's going up against Barbie. I think that's great.
I'm excited to see Oppenheimer, but I'm not like you know, buying my tickets in advance or anything like that. Like, I'll see it, but like, yeah, I like Nolan's movies, but I feel like I'm never as blown away as Christopher Nolan thinks I should be. You know, like, even just like the way his movies present themselves is very like, takes itself very seriously, and I never really like feel like I'm like in on it. You know, like, I watched Tenet and I was like, yeah, that's good. But I wasn't like, you know, oh, he's a genius. Like, I'm sure he's thinking that, but
Nolan's later career feels like a magician revealing his secrets to you right in front of you, front row, and just you still don't understand or you're not impressed. You're like, okay, like, cool.
That's so true. Like he's so full of himself that it just makes it like makes him very unlikable.
Yeah.
Whereas like going up against Barbie, which looks so fun, and like has every fun actor in it, and like it's very funny double feature to do that weekend.
Yeah, I saw some fucking psycho bought out like the fucking front row of Oppenheimer. Like, who is the maniac that wants this in like Dolby surround sound hitting them in the fucking face? But I actually, so going back to Barbie, I heard that there was a national shortage of pink because of it. Like, I heard they used so much pink in the movie that places that needed like pink fabric, pink filament, pink coloring, like there was a little bit of a shortage.
That's hilarious.
I don't know if that's true or if that was a shit post, but like if you look at the movie, like the trailers and the shots, like I could kind of believe that. Like, they used a lot of pink in that movie. But man, I'm unironically ecstatic. I'm excited to see that movie.
I'm more curious about Barbie 2 just because I'm like, what is the story going to be? I'm very interested. Like, the trailer has not given away much as far as plot, which is good. Like, it did a good job of getting me hyped for it and like showing like the vibe of the movie without really saying too much about what the actual story is going to be.
Yeah.
So I'm very interested in that, and I think it's going to be a good time.
Yo, Barbieheimer, let's go. Let's fucking go. Cinema Bros eating well that week.
True. True.
I'm gonna wear my fucking finest 3-piece suit to that premiere. I'm not even kidding. Yeah. So I think that was pretty much oh yeah, I did want to bring up a couple other things. I saw recently Del Toro did that interview where he was like his later career he wants to just do animation, and I think that's fucking awesome. I would love to see that.
That makes sense. You could see his career kind of shifting towards that even now, so it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, because Pinocchio was phenomenal.
Yeah.
So like,
it seems like the perfect medium for his style, so I'm into that.
yeah, I could see him doing taking like real liberties and doing some like dark storytelling.
Yeah. Hopefully, it's not only stop motion because then it's going to be like 3 years in between every single movie. But we'll see.
Right, it takes a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the new Priscilla movie, so Sofia Coppola. I figured I'd bring it up since you like Elvis and everything.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for that. Yeah. The trailer didn't give away much, but I'm gonna see it. It's interesting. The casting of Jacob Elordi as Elvis is very interesting. I'm curious to see like a better look at him, like fully in costume or whatever. But I'm sure it'll be good.
Yeah, I think and it'll be very interesting to see how they handle because the Elvis movie obviously like had Priscilla in it, but this one is like centric to Priscilla, so like I wonder how they're gonna portray her, especially after everything that like transpired with the estate. Like I wonder how they're gonna handle that.
The movie is supposed to be based on her book, so I would imagine it's gonna be, not. I would imagine it's going to be kind to her as a person, but you never know.
I know
it's based on her memoir, so I don't think it's going to be like a hit piece on them or anything. But
yeah, just like the first half is just like blow smoke up her ass, and then the next is just like slamming her relentlessly.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Last thing I want to touch on, which we very briefly did, was the new Flash movie, which like has been the topic of conversation amongst everybody ever.
Basically, had the entire movie spoiled to me already via just going on Twitter, so
yeah.
I probably don't even see it.
It's just like, I don't know. I'm not, from the standpoint of like it just being a DC product, I already didn't have too much interest, but I think what really blows my mind is, because obviously you can't speak on this movie without talking about the controversy surrounding it. Yeah. It blows my mind that DC made an entire Batgirl film, which like out of all the rehashes and remakes and whatever all companies ever do, especially like superhero franchises, Batgirl was one that like they never explore. So I was like, okay, so in a way, like it's a unique concept. Cast was great, and from what insiders were saying, the movie looked good and whatever, and they probably sunk a fuck ton of money into it. We had Brendan Fraser in it, and when he talks about his role in it, he was like super pumped about it. And then they decide to shelve that for tax reasons, but release the movie that has one of the most controversial figures in the past 2 years just because it's going to like reignite a DC timeline. Like, come on.
Well, the craziest thing too, it's like the Batgirl movie was supposed to be Michael Keaton's return to Batman.
And that too. Yeah.
And they just totally scrapped it and went with Flash instead, where obviously he returns as Batman, but it's like, it's not that it makes it less special because nobody got to see Batgirl, but like he already did the like first review, like his return already happened.
Yeah.
This is technically the second movie he's done in the past couple of years as Batman's, which is very weird.
Yeah, it's upsetting because like with all the people involved and everyone who worked on it, it's like, bro, you guys just shelved it for, a little bit of a tax break, and then you're basically saying it's okay to release a movie with somebody who is a fucking criminal and a groomer and a kidnapper. Yeah. Like it amazes me. Like, I know how people operate when it comes to greed and money, but even to this extent, it boggles my mind.
I mean, it's the perfect little like microcosm example of where like studio greed is at right now, where an entire movie will be scrapped for tax purposes, totally discounting any of the artistic integrity of the movie. Meanwhile, another one will be promoted to fucking death, despite the fact that the main actor in it was like committing these horrible crimes. And it's like it's such a perfect like textbook example of like where it's at right now.
Yup. They're like, you know what? This person is. Oh no, they're quirky. They're just shoving a baby in a microwave. It's funny. They're just unhinged. Like what?
Yeah.
But like, bro, they have problems, and you're just gonna sweep it under the rug. But whatever. Obviously, it's not gonna change.
It shows, not to like get too deep into it, but it just shows that like all of the things that like studios and stuff do, at the end of the day, money is the only thing that matters. Like,
of course. Yeah.
Like when Disney was like, oh, Johnny Depp's not going to be in the Pirates of the Caribbean movie anymore. Like, behind the scenes, there was a money reason for that. They don't actually care about any of the stuff that they pretend to care about.
No.
It's just money. It's just money.
It's money.
And The Flash didn't even do very well, so...
Right, it's bombing, yeah.
Yeah. Very... Which... Like, I'm not surprised because, again, they spoiled so much in the trailer of that movie. Why would you put Michael Keaton in the trailer? It's supposed to be a surprise cameo.
Yeah.
They literally CGI'd the other Spider-Man out of scenes in the trailer for No Way Home and kept it, like, airtight secret. And then for this one, they literally... The first trailer has Michael Keaton returning as Batman. Like,
yeah.
I don't understand. Did they learn nothing from the marketing of No Way Home? Like, a cameo is not exciting if I already know it's coming because of the trailer. So I just don't get it.
They just need to...
I feel like I don't even need to see the movie. I feel like I've seen the whole thing already.
Yeah, they really need to step back, just shelve all their ideas, take 10 years away from film, and just come back with a new universe. Like, come fresh, come correct, and like make me give a shit about your company.
Yeah, I mean, what I've been saying too, they hit a jackpot with the Batman and Joker. Keep doing those. Keep doing movies like that. That's what's working for you. Is these standalone stories that are handled by directors who really want to like bring a vision to that property. So it's like, just do that. Yeah. You don't have to do the Marvel thing. There's other options than the Marvel thing.
Oh man. Well, hopefully one day they learn, but we'll see. Probably not. Probably not. Yeah. Probably not. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean that's pretty much everything I was looking to cover, but we had a lot. I mean, there's obviously still so many little bits of news we didn't even cover. I feel like especially in the second quarter of this year, we have just been bombarded by movie news. Like, it's every day there's like 300 announcements.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, I can't even think of them all. But you know what? This was a nice return. It was nice to speak to you and everyone else again, and we'll be back with more cinema, babies. So don't fucking go anywhere. If you unsubbed, resub, and then unsub, at least we'll get the, it's all for analytics. But anyway, this has been Sam with the Silver Screen Fiends podcast. And who are you? I
was like, oh, are you cutting me out of the outro?
Are you Blake?
I've been Blake.
Oh shit! And we, we're just gonna end it. We're just gonna end it right here, right now.
We're just two Barbie girls living in a Barbie
living
world.
In an Oppenheimer world. Well, good night, everybody.
You are now in the presence of a